I'm Kristen from 25 Steps Travel, and after having done the Royal Gathering on Disney Cruise Line 3 times now, I'm going to let you in on what you need to know, what to bring and be prepared for, how to get a spot, and the things I wish I knew before. I have a handful of really useful things to know before going into it. The first one is that you get to meet and interact with 4 or 5 princesses all at once. Usually it's 4, but I've seen 5. Keep in mind that there's no way to tell which princesses it will be. I've seen certain ones on different sailings, but these are things that change with contracts, so there's no way to be 100% sure. Our last 7-night cruise, Princess Jasmine was at one of the royal gatherings, but not the other ones. So I just recommend keeping an open mind and not getting your hopes up for a specific princess. Whatever time slot you get for the royal gathering, arrive at that time or about 5 minutes before, but no earlier. Ours is at 9, for example, and I'm here 6 minutes before. They don't care what time you arrive, they only care what time you booked for, and they'll only invite you to line up at the time you signed up for. They'll say, for example, anyone who signed up for 9 a.m. can now line up, and they will check for proof that you have 9 a.m. Coming earlier just puts you in front of people that booked at the same time that you did. And there's usually about 20 people for each time slot. Every royal gathering starts with a short ceremony that starts right before the earliest time slot. The ceremony doesn't take long, and if you miss this, I wouldn't say it's a big deal. But if you are here, try to stand on the inner side of the atrium rather than the outside, because this way you can get a better view of the princesses waving from the balconies. On a shorter sailing, like only 3 nights, the ceremony will be busier, but longer sailings have multiple royal gatherings, so there aren't that many people there. In a nutshell, the royal gathering is a chance to meet these princesses all at once, without going and lining up for them individually. If you were to miss the royal gathering because spots filled up, it's okay because you can still meet these ladies, just separately rather than all at once. If a princess you are hoping for isn't there, going and meeting them on their own is no different from meeting them at the royal gathering, other than that you meet them with other princesses at the same time. Similar to meeting any other character on the Disney cruise, you may want to bring an autograph book or something for them to sign, plus a pen. Getting them to sign stuff isn't mandatory, but if you do, you'll notice that they sign in very character-like signature. Also bring your Key to the World card and or Disney band. This is what allows you to take a look at the photos that are taken by the photographers later, which you can do on your navigation app or on these computers that they have around the ships. Having the princesses sign stuff or take pictures is nice, but remember that your child only has maybe a minute with each princess, so if they're old enough, I recommend asking what they would like to do during the royal gathering. On our first ever Disney cruise, my then 5-year-old wanted to show them and talk to them about one of her books. She showed each princess, and it was really nice to see her connect with them in that way. As to whether to buy the digital photo package, I always buy it, but because we take more photos than just the royal gathering. You can buy the royal gathering photos separately, but it's going to cost about $20 per photo. They make it pricey to encourage you to get the package. If you want to see a comparison, here are photos that the photographers took, and these are the photos that we took at the royal gathering. So you can take your own photos for free, there's no problem with that. And they're absolutely fine. If you do get the photo package, book it before your cruise because the price jumps once you're on board. Is the royal gathering worth it? Absolutely. I would definitely prioritize it if you or your little ones love princesses. The whole thing is probably only going to take 20 minutes max, but it turns into a really nice event to meet them all at once. So how to secure a spot? If your sailing is longer, like 7 nights, then there will be more than one royal gathering, and you shouldn't have a problem at all getting a spot. On our last cruise, the first morning filled up, but the second and the third one still had spots weeks after the registration opened. However, on shorter sailings, there is sometimes only one royal gathering for the whole sailing, and it fills up insanely fast, usually just minutes after the registration opens at midnight. So check your onboard fun activities, and it will show you when the booking for the royal gathering will be available. Sign in on midnight on that day, grab the first time slot you see. The more flexible you are, the better. This has worked for me 3 times now, and 2 of those were short 3-night sailings, so I think as long as you're on it, you'll get a spot. If this is your first Disney cruise, then your online check-in will be the same day as the Royal Gathering booking, which is 30 days before sailing. Here's what most people don't realize. You can book the Royal Gathering before you check in. This would make it easier for first-time sailors to get a spot for it. So decide whether potentially boarding the ship earlier or being able to go to the Royal Gathering is more important to you. And if the Royal Gathering is, then book that first before choosing a port arrival time and checking in. Personally, I think that if you have young kids, then sometimes an early boarding time isn't always ideal because there are long lineups, the ship gets busy fast, and your room doesn't open until the afternoon. So if you're a first-time sailor with young kids and you have a die-hard Princess fan, then grab that Royal Gathering spot first, I would say. Thank you so much for watching, and if you found this helpful, please subscribe for other videos on Disney cruises and traveling with kids.